So what you need to do is find someone you trust and stick with them until they betray you.
In today's Polka update, we'll take a look at Twitter to see what's been going on with Zeitgeist, Kilt Phala, Imbue, and then finally I'll talk a bit about the proposal that I raised yesterday, which generated a lot of trolls. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to do another one of those proposals. It was an attempt. I got experience from it. It was a mixed experience, let's say. I did get some support, but unfortunately not as much support as I had hoped. It just seems like people are okay with not getting their tokens, and so I'm going to take a step back and say, okay, if you're fine with it, I'm fine with it. I'm going to wait 11 months or whatever. The lease is likely going to expire. We're not going to be seeing our tokens for some of them, not all of them, of course. We know that BitCountry Pioneer did tell us that next month we will be seeing token transfers, and so that's all good. I know that the other ones like Zeitgeist, which I'm going to talk about first, apparently are not going to be ready for quite a while. They're running into some problems at the moment. So let's find out and see what's going on here. So you could see that most of these parachain projects are basically just going to different events, holding talks, trying to spread the word, holding hackathons. I mean, they're not like delivering anything on the product itself yet, right? They're just trying to attract people. So as you can see here, developers, we want to bring you on how to build on Zeitgeist, right? They've got an SDK, software development toolkit, how to build on their prediction markets. As you can see, they're holding interviews. They're going to be tuning into, they're going to be actually speaking. I believe they're going to be speaking at one of the Polkadot Decoded events as well. So yeah, building the future with Zeitgeist SDK. So they've held a technical session explaining how you can develop with the Zeitgeist SDK. But again, I mean, it depends what developers want to build, because it is very hard to bring developers to blockchain in general, and top that up with crypto, right? It's not going to be easy, especially because with Polkadot and with Kusama, you need to know Rust, which is a very difficult programming language to learn, and then you need to also work on the substrate framework, and the substrate framework itself has another layer of complexity, right, because of the way it's been written. And so, and it's not compatible with a lot of other programming languages which developers are used to, and so adding that layer of complexity to it, sure, it may be secure, may be stable, but it is going to be a struggle to get people to build. And so yeah, as you can see, they're offering bounties, $30,000 in bounties for Polkadot Hackathon. Zeitgeist is delighted to announce the offering of $30,000 in bounties. But one of the things, like, I mean, looking at this here, they've released Node version 0.33, which includes an upgrade that unlocks all external palettes on their mainnet, including token transfer. So we got the hint here 2 hours ago. Perhaps it's because of the proposal that I've submitted yesterday. It generated some traction. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but yeah, apparently these guys have had some issues with their blockchain, and now they've solved those issues. And so with this update, hopefully we're going to see token transfers go live. I'm sure many people that have, let me hit a like here. Of course, it deserves a like because we've been waiting for so long. It's 7 months in now, so people are going to be happy to finally see it. I know that many people in my community who have crowdloan to Zeitgeist were eager to get this. I've crowdloaned a little bit myself, but I'm mostly in BitCountry Pioneer, so I need to wait till next month for the miracle to happen there. If it happens, I hope it does. I hope there won't be any more delays. I get that the market has wrecked everyone, and so listing in a time like this is not great, but it's better late than never, right? I mean, looking at Zenlink, Zenlink are progressing nicely. I mean, they're creating all these different pools. I mean, their main focus has always been really DeFi, liquidity pools, and then swaps. And so they're offering that, they're delivering on that, right? So that's a good thing. We cannot complain about it, right? The only thing we can complain about with Zenlink is the token price, which took a massive hit because unfortunately their structure, I mean, although the product is awesome, the structure for the token holders is not really good, because what they're doing is they're basically paying liquidity pool farmers in the ZLK token. And so imagine you're basically diluting the token, right? You're putting so much of it in circulation that it just ends up creating, you know, the price issue, right, where it just keeps on going down, unfortunately. And so yeah, I mean, obviously if you're a long-term holder that might be okay, but still, I mean, it's not great from that sense. I think that they should rework their logic with the token, with at least with the tokenomics for ZLK. Yeah, with regards to the product, yeah, I absolutely love it. I mean, it's awesome. They basically got the best deck so far. It beats Uniswap by a lot. The structure that they've got is really good. I really like that. The fact that you can do the cross-chain swapping as well within different parachains on the ecosystem. And so yeah, that's definitely one of the plus sides of the Zenlink. However, keep in mind that we're going to see order book dexes come to life soon. Mangara, which are very close to launching. They've had that liquidity bootstrapping event, the LBP, and after that there's Polkadex as well. And so there are going to be two of them, and we'll have to see if they can actually compete in terms of users with Zenlink, because Zenlink has this unique feature. They're mostly DeFi focused, but then you may be able to do things like that, liquidity pool farming. You may be able to stake on Mangara and on Polkadex as well. So we'll have to see how they compete there. Moving on to Kilt. I mean, yeah, it looks like they've been meeting with people over from Astar. This was a while back. They've been doing some interviews. They went to a few people's channels. As you can see here, they're on the 7th and 8th of July. They're going to be speaking in New Delhi at Identity India. So that's good, because they're going to spread the word about Kilt, and that's going to be good for Kilt holders, of course. And then in Berlin, the CEO of Kilt talk at Polkadot Decoded on June 29th. And then they're going to hold a workshop as well, as you can see, Dudley and Raphael on June 30th in New York. And so yeah, I mean, Kilt, like, they're not delivering anything from what I'm seeing, but they're just trying to bring people on board. They're trying to bring products, I think. I think what they're trying to do really is trying to generate a use case for their digital identity. And so they're kind of doing what Ontology were doing back in the Neo days, if you remember, if you've been watching this channel back then. If not, if you've been following Ontology and you know what they were doing with digital identity, they were trying to do the same. They were trying to basically attract companies to integrate their product, and I think that's what Kilt is going to try and do now. And unfortunately, with this bear market, it's going to be a bit of a struggle, but they're pushing that. Like, they're going to these events, they're speaking out, and so people that are interesting to get integrations from the blockchain technology into their products, which are likely non-blockchain related, then they do have a good chance. But again, I mean, Kilt could be integrated into other parachains as well, right? We've got metaverses, right? The mini digital identity. Bitcoin Tree Pioneer are going to launch soon. And so you could see a use case there for Kilt, right? Maybe a use case on Remark as well, on Remark Skybridge, right? With the digital identity there as well for the metaverse. So yeah, I mean, there could be use cases within Polkadot and Kusama, but I think that they're also trying to get the word out there and maybe do some more integrations with non-blockchain companies as well. I mean, looking at Phala here, not much is going on with Phala other than they've been working hard with Calamari apparently to get Kala and Calamari connected through XCM. The Phala team has submitted a proposal to the forum, so that's good. We're going to have the bidirectional H or MP channels, which means we're going to have the cross-chain interaction. But remember that with Calamari, they still need to push that update before we can see, because they're on Dolphin testnet at the moment. So before we're going to see MaryPay and MarySwap, we still need to wait a bit. It's not ready yet. And so, yeah, then we're going to finally be able to get those private tokens, and we'll have to see how that's going to work. It's going to be interesting. I know that there were some flaws that I've mentioned in previous videos right now, such as you have to download an executable, which is the Manta signer. And I don't agree with that, unfortunately, because I don't think anyone wants to download executables, especially if they're using Windows, right? I get that it's coming from the team, it's a legit executable, but you don't really know what it's doing, right? Behind the scenes, right? Maybe there is some information, but if you're not a coder and you're not checking GitHub and you don't understand what it's doing, then you're likely not going to do it. Your antivirus is going to block it anyway when you're downloading it, right? So yeah, I just wanted to say that. And the other thing I wanted to say is you can actually use Nova Wallet with Subbridge. You can do swaps within using Subbridge on Nova Wallet. So yeah, that's really cool. I need to download Nova Wallet actually. I still didn't download it, so I don't know what it's like. And the other thing is Phala World Spirit NFTs. If you want to mint a Phala World Spirit NFT, which is likely going to have some utility in their upcoming Phala World metaverse, then all you need to do is go to phala.world/claim, connect with your Polkadot.js wallet. You need to have at least 10 Phala tokens in your account, otherwise it's not going to work, unfortunately, from what I saw. And so yeah, just make sure you have that and then see if you are eligible to claim. Phala are also in New York City. They've posted this 15 hours ago. And yeah, that's pretty much it from Phala. Next up, looking at Imbue. So yeah, I've mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again. So 2 days ago, they've officially won the parachain slot on Kusama, which is great. I think they had like over 3,500 Kusama contributed to them. And so yeah, they've joined the parachain family finally. And it's interesting because they are the very first project with a product, although it may not be like 100% finished. They obviously still need to do some things on it, but they've got a product which was self-funded, right? I mean, they didn't ask for private investor funding. It was self-funded from Sam's funds, from Sam's money, and also from the Web3 Foundation grant. And so there are no private investors that can sell on you. They are going to hold a token sale for those who crowdloaned. So if you had crowdloaned to your at least one KSM, for example, in the parachain auction, then you are eligible to take part in their token sale. Again, not financial advice, for up to 15 KSM, 1.5. Okay, so yeah. Moving on, let's talk about this here. So this is the thing that hit me yesterday, unfortunately. But I mean, yeah, like people were saying to me as feedback, just take it as experience. You know, there's nothing else you can do. So I reached out to the community on Twitter. If you probably know this already, maybe you don't know. Just to see if we can get a proposal pushed to get these teams to be more accountable and enable token transfers, because we've been 7 months in and we still didn't get any tokens yet. And I mean, if we knew that from the beginning, if they would have said to us, guys, we're not going to be ready for 7 months, just know that, right? Then we wouldn't have crowdloaned. It's as simple as that. And so sure, people were complaining to me that, yeah, I just want the tokens to sell. No, it's not the case, right? If it's about accountability for the teams, right? Just think about it. Like, what's the point of me crowdloaning, locking my KSM for 7 months or longer to not get anything, any reward whatsoever, when I could have staked that KSM if you had told me you're not going to be ready, right? So give us the flexibility. Communicate with your community, because you're not communicating, and because of that, you're hurting everyone, and it ends up getting worse in bear markets, right? Had this been a bull market, maybe people wouldn't have complained so much, right? But I have tried it to the community. Nobody's happy. It's not just myself. Maybe I wouldn't have worded it this way. I mean, I would have probably just kept quiet if it were just me. But when the communities are complaining about it, and then they're supporting these kind of proposals, then of course you need to speak out, right? That's, I mean, as a content creator mostly focused on the Polkadot ecosystem, it makes sense to try and support the community. Else what's the point? I'm here because of the community at the end of the day, right? And so yeah, these votes, 141 people voted, 3 months and 6 months. So I decided to go with 4.5 months, as I promised in one of the comments, that if something's going to be exactly the same, if two of these results are going to be matching in terms of percentages, then I'm going to be doing I'm going to find the middle ground, so the average of the two. And so I went with 4.5 months just to make it fair, and I've submitted a proposal. This is the proposal here. A proposal to protect the Polkadot and Kusama community from parachain opportunists. And I know some people were laughing that I've used the clickbaity title because I mean, it is generated like 20 comments, so there's been a lot of interaction with this proposal, to be honest. But ultimately, what I said for parachains with tokens only is to just, you know, follow the structure, right? This is the structure. Check the stability of the parachain, set up the council, enable governance, remove pseudo-key, enable token transfers. Other parachains, 11 parachains from before you, from batches 1 and 2 on Kusama, have had no problems following this structure of the parachain launch process. However, the other teams have not done so. And what they've done is they've decided to stop here at step 3 and build a working product before removing pseudo-key and enabling token transfers. That's how it's going to be. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I have not worded this properly. Maybe I was too tough. And then people just saw this as me wanting to sell the tokens as soon as I get them. But obviously this was not the intention. The intention was for teams to be more accountable for their actions. People don't want to be locking their hard-earned money for this long period of time without any sort of rewards. I mean, if I wanted to do that, I could have just staked KSM and I would have had the 7-day leeway if I wanted to unstake at any time. But I would have gotten a staking rewards, right, of 20% APY per year. And so yeah, I got 19 down votes on this, 12 up votes. It's a shame. I mean, the very first one was obviously a guy, Mr. Miyagi, who just fired shots at me from the beginning. He got 15 likes, so a lot of people have supported his view. And 5 down votes, as you can see. Some people have supported my proposal, people from the community, as you can see. And one which was interesting here from Sam Elamin, he's received 12 up votes here, saying, "While I understand the frustration felt by Claudia, I do perhaps agree that the wording is not the best. That said, a crowdloan is an agreement between a parachain and its community and supporters. We should at least discuss whether or not a chain should have a reasonable ETA for promises made." So this is exactly what I mean, especially ones that have set a specific date and then they didn't hold true to that and they just changed it. I get that delays can happen, but no, you're doing it because of the market, and this is how it is, unfortunately. And so yeah, yeah, I mean, that's how it is. I don't think this is gonna pass. It's unfortunate. A lot of people don't like it, obviously. Some people support it, like this guy here said, I obviously totally disagree with this proposal. But this one here said, I agree with the proposal. There are mechanisms in place for which teams can test, build their products that would not require a parachain slot. As taken from Polkadot, you can switch between these last two states with relatively minimal effort, since the difference is more of an economic distinction than a technological one. The main difference between the two parachain versus parathread is economic. Teams get nearly the same benefits using a parathread as they would a parachain. That being said, there is a main difference of if you're a parathread, you are not guaranteed that you will be processed on a constant per block basis as you would as a parachain. This means as a parathread, you'd be participating in a per block auction to be included in the next relay chain block. This would have an impact similar to gas wars on Ethereum in order for people to get their transactions processed faster by spending more for faster speed. So that's the disadvantage of using parathreads. Now, with the above laid out, teams that crowdloan for a parachain slot having a fifth or even 2/5 of their projects completed while doing so, then winning just to try, winning just to try and continue building a project that should have already functionality that just isn't fair to the crowdloan supporters. The projects dangle the carrot on their tokens to a usable product in front of us and then do nothing after almost a year is wrong, and thus why I support this proposal. So these are true words. I mean, this is really what I was trying to get at, right? Accountability. I mean, they've tried to market as much as possible. Like, kudos to Calamari. Kudos to Calamari, right? They're still not ready with their product. They understood that. They rushed to crowdloan, but kudos to them because they gave us our tokens. They gave us our tokens, and that's how it should have been, right? Even if it hurt them, because obviously the prices are down, at least they were fair to the community and they didn't keep us locked up. So we cannot complain, right? We can complain that the price is down, but that's something that we cannot control, right? So to me, kudos to the teams who have no problem following the parachain launch phases. It just shows you now we are in a situation where teams are likely talking to each other. I don't know what's going on, but they just don't want to give them to us. They just decided all of a sudden, all the new parachain winners, that they're not going to give them to us because they want to build a product, right? And I think what's going to happen is, because of the market conditions, I think that people are going to be angry. I think that people are going to be selling out of anger, and it's still going to hurt the price, right? But if the project continue delivering, then that's fine, because they're going to get new buyers, new people are going to be joining their communities, supporting them, etc. I've seen this time and time again with projects. There's usually a period of FUD, strong FUD, and then it usually cools off, and then we see the project recover. And so for BitCountry Pioneer, I love what they're doing. I'm not trying to FUD them or anything. I'm just annoyed with the fact that they've delayed token transfers. That's all. It's as simple as that. I love what they're doing. I like their work. I want to support them, and I'm going to continue to support them. I really see what they've done. I want to take part in their testing as well. But I was annoyed with the fact that they've said May, which was already late, and I said, okay, that's fine. I'm not going to complain about that. You've mentioned May, you gave us a date, but then what really pissed me off, what got my blood boiling, was the fact that they've changed from May, they've wiped that altogether, and they've moved it to July, right? So they were not clear about following the specific deadline from the roadmap, at least for the parachain launch phases. I totally understand that they've initially told us we will be launching token transfers with staking, and in order for staking to work, they needed some core functionalities of the metaverse, because you need to connect to the metaverse in order to stake. That's how it works with Bitcoin Pioneer, and I totally understand that, right? It's part of the technical functionality. You don't just stake using the Polkadot web wallet. You stake in a different manner. And so, yeah, I understand that, right? That's not a problem, but it's just that the fact that they've delayed the roadmap in that sense, to me, is annoying. But what can we do other than wait, right? I mean, all we can do is speak out our frustration, voice it out, but that's it, right? So yeah, that's pretty much how it's been here. And yeah, have a read of this proposal if you're interested. I have posted it on Twitter yesterday. Let me know what you think about it. I mean, do you think I've come strong in my wording? Should I have worded it differently? And yeah, thank you very much for watching and for listening to me. I just wanted to put this out there and talk about it and just kind of give you my latest updates. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.